All right, happy Wednesday, everybody. Big hump day to you, headed into the weekend. Here we go. For all of you people out there trying to wake up this morning, we're gonna do it, okay? After the coach's corner, here we go. So the word for today is provision. Provision. You like that, Karen Grisham? Okay, here we go. We're gonna talk about provision this morning. And I did not see any birthdays today. I know we have some coming up. So if it's your birthday, please let us know, okay? I don't see any. So provision is the word. And if you look at provision, it's like it's the act of supplying or providing something that is needed. It can refer to things like food, resources, support, opportunities, protection, preparation for something down the road, right? My mentor would say this in business. He'd say you got to prepare before you need what you're preparing for. And the older I get, the more it means to me what he was teaching me back in the day. You know, some people say dig your well before you're thirsty in your health, in your finances, in your spiritual walks. But it takes provision, right? Preparation, I don't know what it is. It's the human instinct that typically we don't prepare. Most people does not prepare. Not until they're at a place of, oh my goodness. And then they're ready to get to work, right? Like I think about my business and sales. I say this all the time in sales. My desperation means nothing to the client. Just because I'm desperate and I need to make money and I need all this stuff, the person that I'm, John Frick, that I'm selling to, they don't care. They don't care. They're not in desperate mode, right? And sometimes you can put the clamps on them because you're desperate, but your desperation doesn't mean it's their desperation, right? And it's the same way, like in finances. So many times I always say this, like, is I use the analogy of who am I going to be the hero of one day? I don't know. Could be my daughter, could be my son, could be my future grandkids, or even my great grandkids. I don't know. But I know there will be a day and time that somebody needs, oh, coach, and did coach prepare? And if I didn't prepare, it's too late in that moment. I'm just going to have to look at them and say, I'm sorry. I didn't prepare. Right. And so that doesn't sit well with me. Right. It doesn't sit well with me. But provision is like I'm preparing for it. So, and it's not limited to just money. Like a parent provides guidance from wisdom they've learned. So it's like, what books am I reading? What knowledge am I creating so that I can like give out guidance to people I care about, to my kids, to my future grandkids? Like that's what it's about. Like that's provision. It's not just money. Like a friend providing encouragement. Have you got anybody in your life that is going through a rough spot and they just need encouragement? Right? What about vision? If you've got a group of people, when's the last time you've given them a shot of vision of where you guys are going together? Are you just in when I think about provision, are you just in the, well, Ashley, we just need to sign up somebody today? That kind of gets old, right? Give me some vision. Where are we going? What are we doing? What's the fun of this, right? So, in many ways, for me to close it out, like when I think about provision, it's just the intentional acts that ensures that like projects or priorities, they have what they need to thrive into the future. So, and when I have provision, as I was studying this word, it says you're going to have less stress in your life. You're going to have greater stability in your life, and more opportunities will come to you in your life because you're preparing for the future, right? So, all right. Actually, I'm going to turn to you on this.
Awesome, awesome. So excited to be here this morning. Such a great word. When I dug into it too, it was really like a reflection moment, right? So I'm going to start with a quote and it says, "Provision is the bridge between today's efforts and tomorrow's opportunity." Okay, so how can we become better at provision and really just wrap all of this together this morning? So, planning ahead instead of waiting until things become urgent. Has anyone ever sat there and you're like, I got plenty of time, right? With the Epic Club, it's like, I got plenty of time. I have August till August 14th. Guess what? I just did a countdown. We have 72 days. Okay, but it's also in those moments where you're planning ahead so you don't sound like that desperate human being because you're trying to hit a goal. It's trying to just take one step after another and planning ahead before August 1st comes and we're stressing out because we have 2 weeks. Um, Really building margins around your schedule, drawing those boundaries around your schedule, your finances, right? Drawing some margins around that so you're not just living that paycheck to paycheck life. It's having better provision around those areas so it doesn't become stressful. And then also preparing for opportunities before they arrive. Okay, a lot of us know we have an incredible product launching in Nashville if you're in our company at the end of this month. So, how are you preparing for that opportunity within the next few weeks as that comes out? So, like Coach said, always investing in your health now so you can thank your future self later. I'm always, some of you know my story. I lost my mom at a very young age from breast cancer at the age of 47. I am always being proactive at my health and not reactive, right? Sometimes stuff comes our way and sometimes it is out of our control and stuff we can't control, but there is a lot of stuff when it comes to your health that you can be proactive at. And so keep learning and growing your skills. That's a huge one for me. I've been in business with Coach for the last 11 years, and I'm always a student. Okay. But when I am a student and I have something, I do turn around and I do teach it. That is part of being a leader. But you always have to continue learning and growing those skills. And sometimes maybe it's unlearning, right? There's been a lot of times in this business I've had to unlearn some stuff and pivot, learn some stuff, pivot, and move forward. Okay. Creating backup plans for important goals. If you have an important goal in mind, whatever that might be, it might be your health, it might be your business, it might be whatever that might be. Creating backup plans for that because life happens, right? Sometimes it's not just that, well, most times it's not just that straight arrow path to get from point A to point B. So creating that backup plan and then giving generously whenever you can. Often the people who provide like others who provide for others become a source of provision themselves. And so who can you give generously to? And that's not maybe even just a monetary donation. A lot of times in our minds, we're like, we feel like we have to donate. Yes, absolutely. If you can to something, please do so because that always comes back to you in return. But give generously. Maybe it's just buying the cup of coffee for the person behind you in the Starbucks line or in the coffee line. And taking care of those relationships before they need repair. We get so distracted sometimes with our phones and being so caught up in the constant notifications and the dinging and oh, I have to reply back to this person right away. Setting those boundaries and taking care of the people who are right directly in front of you. That is something I have tried working on is being present in the moment. Okay, maybe turning this on silent for 30 minutes while you're in a meeting or 30 minutes when you're having supper with your family, really just to remove those distractions so you can take care of those relationships before they need repair. So maybe some questions to consider is what area of my life needs provision right now, right? Where can you improve? Where can you need that provision? But then where can you actively turn out and do that? Like I said, maybe it is buying that cup of coffee for someone behind you in line, but really just those small actions add up over time. So when you take a look at today and you start implementing that, where you can be, have that more provision in your life, where will you be in 6 months from now? Right? Like constantly giving, constantly becoming better, constantly preparing. So you do meet those deadlines. So where would you be in 6 months? So really just every small decision today becomes tomorrow's provision. And I thought it was a super, super powerful word this morning. So thank you so much, Coach.
It was, and it was a tough word. I don't know. Did you find
It was
that? Like
tough. It
sometimes we
was
get a
tough.
word, somebody, and it's like, oh, I got to dig in on this one. But it was, yeah, I challenge you that if provision is not a word that you look at much, take 10 minutes today and look at provision. It will bless you. And thanks, Ashley, for sharing your thoughts and wisdom around that. So, guys, have an amazing Hump Day Wednesday. We love you. We're grateful for you. And we'll see you, a lot of you over on the IPA Zoom. See you guys.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Have a
Good
good
job,
day.
Ace.